Howdy everybody, this is Jonathan, and today I'll be showing you guys how to install FiwixOS, which uses a Fiwix kernel. So you guys are wondering, what is FiwixOS? Well, over here shows a very short description which I'll read to you guys. So FiwixOS 3.3 is a Fiwix distribution, so that means it uses this kernel, which is Fiwix, the kernel which is meant to be like a Unix-like kernel, which is similar to Linux or FreeBSD. So it has this so the kernel is basically like Unix like, so it'll be something quite similar to Linux, because Linux is a Unix like kernel. Okay, so it is an operating system made from a software collection that is based upon the Fiwix kernel. So yes, it uses that kernel, as we have said earlier. It basically comprises the Fiwix kernel, GNU toolchain, libraries, and additional software. All the included software is free and open source software made available as compiled binaries and in source code form. FiwixOS 3.3 uses GNU as its standard C library and ext2 as its primary file system. Okay, so the operating system uses a kernel that is written from scratch, and it was designed and developed mostly as a hobby OS, and it serves for educational purposes as well. If you guys want to go ahead and download it, I will just leave the website down in the description. I would recommend to install it to a virtual machine, for example Box, QEMU as well, and there's also GNOME boxes. If you use Windows, I don't think GNOME boxes is yet available for Windows, but you guys could run like Box and it's just as good. So to install it, just click on this download button over there. Click on this ISO image and it should technically start downloading it. I already have it installed and I already got my virtual machine. I'll be using QEMU, and I have created a new hard drive, as you guys can see. I've given it around 20 gigabytes. And then over there I have basically started to boot up the system. I also have attached a disk to it. So this is my new virtual machine I've created that will use my disk, which I have declared over there, disk.img, which will also use the ISO image as well. So that's pretty cool. Now let me go ahead and rerun it. So now I should be able to see a menu like this. Now use the arrow keys on the keyboard, select which option you want. So for example, I want to select the standard VGA. Press on the enter key. It's right now loading. Don't worry about these messages. Press on the enter key to activate the console. Press on the enter key and that should start up the console. Now you guys can just put down something like install.sh, and that should allow us to install the operating system. Now press on the enter key to continue. Okay, now you guys can read through this as well, which shows up what this operating system is all about. Press on OK, and this tells you a warning that is not yet used for professional use or for personal use as well, because it may have some bugs and broken features. So let's press on to OK if we're going to take the risk, or if it's only this inside a virtual machine like I am. So okay, we'll start in a minute. So now over here shows up some keyboard layouts. So all you need to do is select which keyboard you use. So guys may need to select for UK English if you use a English keyboard, or US English as well if you live in the United States. But right now I'm currently in England and I use the English keyboard layout, so I'm going to select the English one. Okay, now select which drive we want to format. I only have one drive, so I'm just going to select OK. And now you guys can select these options. So this means that using the entire disk for FiwixOS, you guys can select a specific partition, or you guys can run fdisk to edit the partition table manually. So I'm just going to use the entire disk. I want to keep this a simple video, but if you guys want to keep Windows or keep Linux, I'd recommend to run fdisk or select a specific partition. But these are a little bit more technical. So I would recommend to have an extra solid state drive around if you want to actually install it, and using the entire disk is anyway better, because there's a lot less of a risk of there being data loss and your operating system being corrupted. Because I had many times where I did partition Windows as with Linux, but whenever I did try to boot up to Windows, it would get corrupted. It does not always happen, but it can sometimes happen. But I would recommend to have like separate drives for each different operating systems. It seems better that way. I will just select use the entire disk for FiwixOS. Do you want to put boot drive on a separate partition? Let's select yes, why not? Do you want to install for grub bootloader when finished? Yes, let's install that. Okay, we can do a full install, so we basically install all the packages, all the features. Or you guys can do a minimal install, which includes the basic functionality, so it comes with basic utilities. Let's do all packages, shall we? Press onto OK. If we continue, all files currently on the hard disk, dev HDA, will be erased. Do you really want to continue? Just type down yes, and now press onto OK, and that should start partitioning the drive. So that does mean that everything on that hard drive will be deleted. This may take a while. But it looks like it's currently finishing with creating the partitions. So it's going to look like there's going to be like 3 partitions really. There's a partition for boot, there's a root partition, and there's also a home directory as well. So it's just creating up some partitions for me. So it's right now making the boot file system, making the root file system. Okay, so like I was able to be able to partition my drive, what I'll do now is select OK. All software packages and CD-ROM are going to be transferred onto a hard drive. Select OK, and now it's going to start configuring for dev HDA, and it's going to start installing some packages onto our hard drive. So this may take a while, so I'm just going to go ahead and pause this video until when all of the software is installed. Control-Alt. Okay, so now let's set up a password for our root user. So let's enter a new password. I'll just give this one a very simple one. Warning, weak password continuing. Yep, that's totally fine. But make sure if you're installing this on real hardware, just make sure that it's a very strong password. The installation of FiwixOS 3.3 is complete. Okay, so you guys should be able to press onto OK, and that should basically allow you to restart the actual system. But what I'll do, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to go to Privacies, I'm now going to go to Devices and Shares, I'm going to remove the ISO file, press on the X key, or try to go back to see if it's still there, and it doesn't seem like it, so now I should be able to click onto it, to the operating system, and hopefully it does boot up. And if I select the top one, okay, it looks like I was able to log in. So now if I enter a password, actually I need to enter my login. Okay, login none. I'll just put down none. Root. Maybe I just need to put down root. Okay, yeah. So if the username is root and the password is what password I gave it. Okay, so now I can do ls, and this will allow it to see the readme file. And if we do cat, will I be able to read me with the cat command? And it looks like we can use the cat command. Let me now use nano to see if that one is installed. Now if I write down readme, if I now press on the enter key, now I should be able to read through this and see what this operating system is all about. So it just seems like nano is pre-installed, which is pretty amazing. I love it when it is pre-installed. So that is pretty amazing. I'll just do Control X, I do believe, and that should allow me to exit. And I can do clear, and that should technically clear up the terminal. And I can do ls, I can go into different directories by doing cd. To be able to make a new directory by do mkdir, and I can call this one John. Now if I do ls, I can now go into John by doing cd John, and I'm in for John directory, and I can obviously create text files. I can create, I can use applications within the John folder or directory, and yeah, basically this operating system looks like it's completely functional. Now for the last test is to see if NeoFetch is installed, and it does not seem like it, and I don't think we'll be able to get NeoFetch to work either. What about if I do sysinfo? Doesn't work either. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. You guys can obviously type down help, and that should be a bunch of commands that you guys should be able to do. So that's pretty cool. So this is how you guys will be able to install FiwixOS in how to basically install this operating system. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, please put a like and please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.